Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Hunting Cure. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the ultimate saddle setup. Now, I'm going to show you the ultimate saddle setup in my opinion. Now, I've been saddle hunting for probably 4, almost 5 seasons, somewhere around there. And I went through a bunch of different setups. And I think I finally found the one that makes the perfect sense in a multi-stick setup. So I'm not talking about one sticky, and I'm not talking about, I know there's like rope ones where you can climb up by rope. I think it's SRT or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a multi-stick setup. And I think I have found the best setup that you can have if you're wanting to run multi-stick. Now this setup, I'm not sparing any cost. I'm not sparing any, it's pretty much cost. And I want to say also, I'm not affiliated with any saddle companies or anything like that. I don't get sent products. I don't make any money off this. This is just my opinion on the best saddle setup. Now I have a piece of paper here to kind of glance at to tell me stuff that I shouldn't miss and stuff like that. But I'm going to start off with the backpack setup. So my backpack is the Trophyline Platow pack, and there's a specific reason I went with this backpack. And that's because one, it's small, it's compact, and two, it has this like kind of yoke system almost where you can put it for the Trophyline, what they made it is so they can put their own platform with these clips up here. Well, I didn't have a EDP or a mission at the time when I bought this backpack. Actually at the time I had a wingman. But as you can see, I have transitioned to the Tethrd Predator platform, like the original one, not the big one, not the XL, but the original Tethrd platform. And I put the backpack that holds the platform onto where you would normally put the EDP or mission on the Platow pack. There's a couple reasons why I did this. One, I could just use the clips that came with the backpack. The reason why I did for a while when I first got the Predator platform, I didn't have the pack. And it works, but what you'd have to do is you'd have to take your shoulder strap off, swing it around, unclip the clips, and then put it on the tree if you're climbing up with it on the backpack on the tree. Some people like to hang it from the saddle. I don't. It just too many things that swinging off the saddle can clank and it pulls your saddle down and stuff like that. Me, I don't like running as much. If I don't have to run anything on my saddle climbing up other than my sticks, that's how I like it to be. Once you're up at height, let's say you're 18, 20 foot high, you're on a stick, it's kind of difficult while you have your lineman belt on to take the shoulder strap off, unclip those 2 clips, then put the platform on. This way, how I have it here with the Predator platform pack with the Predator inside, as you can see, I have a Night Eyes gear tie right here, which is like a handle. So when I'm climbing, I have the backpack on my back. I can just reach back, grab, and then put it on the tree. So I don't have to take the bag off, unclip those 2 clips. This, I zip tied the bag to it, the bag to the bag, and then I can just reach back, grab, put it on the tree. And you don't even need a Night Eyes gear tie. You can just grab the platform too. Just the gear tie gives you a little bit more length to grab to. This Platow pack fits everything that I need. I film. I'm not going to do a filming like what I've taken to the woods while I'm filming. If you want to see that video, how I saddle hunt while filming, self-filming, because that's all I do is self-film. I can make another video if y'all want to see that, but this holds my camera arm, my camera, grunt, like other things like wipes, like dude wipes and clippers when I'm on private land. I can clip stuff and stuff like that. But this backpack is pretty freaking sweet. It holds everything really well. It doesn't fling around and it doesn't feel like it's that heavy. It's a good compact minimalist backpack where if you don't take a bunch of stuff, like maybe you take a big muddy camera arm to get a real stable I use a sub 1 camera arm. Again, I'm not gonna get out of that, but this will hold everything that you need if you just take a few things plus a saddle plus your sticks and your platform. So as you can see right here, I have the platform zip tied to the arm straps. Then on the bottom, if you can see right here, I have my sticks that hang off the bottom, and again, it does not fling around. The sticks are 4 Tethrd One Sticks are just about as wide as the backpack itself, they don't stick out too far from my hips when I'm walking, so I'm not hitting a bunch of branches walking through the woods. It's just a very minimalist backpack. You're not carrying anything extra that you don't need. It's just you have what you need and you don't have anything that you don't need, and it carries very well. And it's relatively cheap. I'm gonna be popping up all the prices of stuff that I bought in the corner and maybe have a running total, but also a lot of this stuff I bought used off of Facebook, like groups and stuff like that. So as long as you don't get scammed and you be careful, I suggest using Facebook groups because you can find a lot of gear for probably 50% off half the time, or it could be even lower if someone's trying to move stuff quick. But so that's pretty much my backpack, how I'm running it. Like 4 Tethrd One Sticks on the bottom, a Predator platform on the top where the straps are. Then I have like flashlights and stuff like that, just random stuff that I don't need, or that I might need when I'm going out. As you can see right here on the backpack, now this is the first year I'm doing this. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I've taken some videos in the woods, so you'll see a close-up. I'm using a click and stick. I think it's by, I don't know who makes it. I'll put the link right here, and I'll put it in the description too. But it's called the click and stick. I put one on my backpack. In the years before, I put it on my saddle. But again, like I said, I don't like stuff hanging from my saddle if not need be. Then I have one, okay, I have a click and stick you can see right here on the 3rd step. So I have 4 steps. On the 3rd one back, I have the click and stick on here. So when I'm climbing up the tree, I'll put the bottom one, which is furthest back one. I'll put that one on the tree. Then I'll have these 3 hanging from my hip while I'm climbing, or years before I used the hanging from my hip up my saddle, but now I'm on the bag. So it's pulling down on my shoulders instead of pulling down on my saddle. We're gonna try it. I don't know if that's the best way. Maybe going back to the saddle, I'll probably do that maybe at the end of the year if it's not doing too great. I have the click and stick on the 3rd stick. On your last stick that you'd put up on the trees where you want the click and stick at. So then that's the last one but you can, I do a video of it, but it shows you I can use one-hand operation all of these sticks while I'm climbing up. So I'm climbing up, put a stick on, reach down to my side, pop it off with one hand, then put the stick on, climb up on that stick, reach down, pop it off with one hand, and put the stick up. Again, this is the most efficient way to do multi-stick. You don't have sticks clacking on each other. You don't have 2 on this side, 2 on that side, or 2 in one. You have them all hanging on one side of your hip. It's one hand operation. You just use your thumb and your fingers to pull up and pop it off, and you're good to go. So on my bottom stick, I do run 1 8er. Now before I used to run 2 8ers and only 3 sticks, but I just added an extra stick because I'm not a big 8er fan, and I have this type of 8er. This thing is pretty freaking sweet. It's a little heavier than obviously an Hamskea 8er, and it's far more stable. The people that made it, I think, are Arsenal Hunting or something like that. It's like they make sticks and a 8er like this, but I actually bought this one on Amazon. I have no idea if they still sell them. I haven't even been looking, but I bought it off Amazon for like 20 bucks, and I used it all last year, and it's worked really well. It's like a full step, as you can see. It's like plastic. It's a full like step, always into the tree like this, and you get a full, like your foot can fit on it really nicely. Now the problems with what I've had in years past is when I'm using Hamskea, sometimes it likes to follow my foot up and get stuck around. So let's imagine this is an Hamskea 8er. It'll get stuck and then it'll wrap around like this, and I have to fish it around in the dark, or even it's just hard to get your foot in it, especially climbing down in the dark. Now that could be just user error, but for me, this thing is, the weight of it doesn't follow you up on the tree, and it's a good step coming down. You can easily see it in the dark. I might do some paint marks of glow in the dark so I can see it a little bit better at night. But if you're very sketched out by 8ers and don't like Hamskea or even webbing, I know they use webbing, that is the same kind of problem with me, I suggest trying one of these out. Even if you have to buy it from Arsenal, I think they're a little bit more expensive. But I got this one off Amazon. You might check on Amazon. I got it for 20 bucks. The reason why I got this is because I bought one for Dad, and he was very sketched out by 8ers. He never used them. He just used 4 sticks and just try to get as high as he can. So he does the same thing as me. He uses this 8er on the bottom stick. So it pretty much, instead of having 4 sticks, you have 5 sticks now, because I think these are like 18-inch step to step or something like that. And the tethered one's like 17, I believe. So it's like adding a whole nother stick to your setup without really adding much more weight to it, which is pretty freaking sweet. And again, it all packs up nicely. You saw when I had it, I'll just put this one on the bottom, like so. I'm trying these tube things out. I'm not sure if I like them. It's like tube connectors. I bought them off Amazon for like $7 to hold my Tethrd One Sticks. Then you put the aider on the side of it all, then you use a knot as gear tie to hold it down so when you're walking out it's not flapping everywhere. I need to get a bigger knot as gear tie, but just like that, then your sticks are all ready to go. You have pretty much 5 sticks now, plus your platform. You can get a little height off that. So that's pretty much my backpack setup. I wanted to mention, I do have a Doyle's, I think it's Doyle's gear. This one's actually a dog leash. So you can go to Harbor Freight and get a dog leash for $4, and it's like 25 foot long, 30 foot long or something like that. And it works just as well as a Doyle's. Now on these Platow packs, they do not come, I'm gonna stand up, they do not come with a grommet. You can see I made this, I DIY'd a grommet thing, you can buy them off Amazon. So it's not leather on leather. So you see there's a little string right here, and it's not leather on leather. So it makes it move a little bit better, and it's kind of quieter. That's the actual dog leash that's making the noise, not the thing. If you have it leather on leather, it kind of makes noise when you're pulling it out or ripping it back in if it accidentally rips. The grommet makes it a little bit quieter, and it also makes it smoother when you're pulling in, or when it's coming out, it makes it smoother. It's not gripping on the leather, or the, not leather, but the cloth. It's not gripping like the cloth. So now there's a special reason why I did this. There's one on my right side of my backpack, so when I'm climbing up, there's one on my right side. Now I haven't got to the saddle yet, but on my saddle, and right here you can kind of see I have one on my left side, and this is the actual Doyle's gear hoist in my left side. Now there's a reason why I do this. Years past, I've climbed trees, especially on public land. You can't cut anything down. You can't really mess with any of the trees there. So when I'm climbing up, there might be on one side, on the left side, there's a lot more branches when you're climbing up. So on the left side of your hip, you're climbing up, branches everywhere. Well, in years past, I've only had a gear hoist on my left side. So I'd have to put my bow on the right side of the tree. And then when I'm climbing up, when I have the bow on my right side, the cord wraps around my back, and it sometimes gets caught in my feet, or hits a stick while I'm climbing up, and it pops a stick loose, so now I have to worry about it climbing down because I'm climbing up and the rope that's going behind me pops a stick loose. If you guys saddle hunted, I know it's happened to you before. Having one on both sides makes it to where if the tree sucks on the right side, you can put it on the, if it sucks on the left side, you can put it on the right side. If it sucks on the right side, you can put it on the left side. Now, if it sucks both ways, then I mean, you're kind of just screwed, but having a gear hoist on both sides helps out a lot. Now, I know a lot of people use the technique where they have like a gear hoist with a like a hook on it so you can fish it down, but I'm not doing that in the middle or in the morning when it's still dark outside, and then you have to use your, I like hooking it and then climbing it. And having it on both sides is what helps out a lot with that, because whatever side of the tree, you can put your bow on that side of the tree, and then it helps out a lot. Now, I know also a lot of people put their gear hoist in the middle on their saddle or on their backpack. Again, I don't like reaching. Everything's on my hip, everything's ready to go. I have nothing on the back of my saddle, nothing that I have to reach around and try to fish around without being able to see. Everything's on my hips, or it's on my back where I can put it on on one of my loops on my gear holder and be ready to go. So everything's on my hips, nothing's behind me. I can see everything, get to everything easily. But that's pretty much my backpack setup. The click and stick, the gear hoist on the right side, the Predator platform attached to the back using zip ties. It's nothing special. And then I put the sticks on the bottom. Again, I can go into all my filming setup if you want to see that. Like, I will do a whole video of how I set up in the tree and how I pack everything in. But that's pretty much how I get up into the tree and how I sit. So the saddle. This year and a little bit of last year, not very much, but I'm going to be running the Tether lockdown saddle. Now they changed the name to the ultralock because of, I guess someone was trying to sue them or something, because they had a ladder stand that was called the lockdown. I had the lockdown because I bought it early. But I'm running this saddle this year mainly because I'm assuming the comfort. And I used it a little bit last year and it was really comfortable. But I like the pockets, and I'm going to go over the pocket. So I'm on this left side, so if I'm running, it'll be on my left hip. I have my linesman belt, and then this is actually the dog leash. So the Doyle's is in my bag and the dog leash is in but I had the dog leash, and on these saddles, they already come grommeted at the bottom for your gear hoist, which is pretty freaking sweet. Then the front pouch, I have my grunt tube, which I won't be using really much until later in the year. That's again why I like having this saddle. So this saddle carries a lot of the stuff that you need in your pocket. So if you're not filming, honestly, you can find a way to attach this platform to the yoke system that they have, or just carry just the backpack. You can buy straps for that backpack, the Predator backpack. You can buy straps for it, and then attach your sticks to the backpack, and then that's all you're carrying. You don't have to carry anything else. These pockets are big enough to carry most everything that you'll ever need. Then the backpack, attach your sticks to the Predator backpack with your Predator platform. You don't need a backpack. I film, so I need a backpack. On the right side, or left side, I have my license belt, and then I have the gear hoist. On this side, the front pouch, I have nothing. I have these compression things. Don't even know what they're used for, but have them if I ever need something. These front pouches, I have nothing. And then in the big pouch, I have my linesman belt, or not my linesman, my tether with a Kong duck and a tether locker onto the tether. Then I have my tethered gear strap. I went to the tethered gear strap the last 4 years or 3 years, 5 years, however long I've been pretty much saddle hunting. I've used the Genesis 3D printing, which I gave to Dad. I don't have it with me. I like that. I like it a lot. It worked for multiple years. I don't really have a problem with it, but there's just another upside to this type of gear strap. So this gear strap I can wrap around the tree. I have on my bow, I can't remember what they call this, the quick draw thing attached to my quiver. I have the quick draw thing. So I don't need to carry, on the Genesis 3D printing, they had a long kick out thing to put your bow on, a 3D printed kick out thing. I don't even know what to call it, but you can hang your bow on it. It works good, it packs really good, but this is already attached to my bow. I don't need to carry anything extra. It's attached to my bow, it's ready to go. Now, the reason why I like this is because when I run it through the strap, run it through and tie it around, I have a bunch of extra hanging down, a bunch of extra of these loops hanging down. On my backpack, I guess I forgot to mention, I have a, I don't know if you guys see it, I have a carabiner on it, so I'll be able to hang that carabiner, hang my backpack to wherever my knees are on the tree because of the loops. I'll hang it on one of the extra loops that's hanging down, and I can double my backpack as knee pads. So I don't need to carry knee pads, I don't need to carry a pad that I need to wrap around the tree. It's already there. Like, I don't need to carry anything extra. Before, I used to carry a pad, and then I had to have a strap. I jerry rigged it. I bought it from Orscheln's, or Bumgar's now. I bought it from Bumgar's, and I would have to carry something extra in. I didn't want to carry anything extra. So I can use this strap and double my backpack now as a knee pads. Before, what I actually used to do before, even the knee pad, I stopped carrying a knee pad because it was super annoying to try to carry in and have to worry about. My camera arm, I was about hip level or a little bit higher. I would hang my backpack from the strap. There's a little bit of gap when I got the ratchet strap down to my camera arm. I could hang that there, and I can use one of these flaps on my backpack as a knee pad, just so I didn't have to carry anything extra. This right here will make it to where I don't need to even do that. I can just hang my backpack from one of these loops that are spared down at the bottom, hang it perfectly to where my knees touch, and then I'm ready to go. And then I have I can buy a bunch of S-beaners. I only have one, but I'll buy a bunch of S-beaners and stuff like that so I can hang my quiver and my grunt tube, so it's ready to go, especially during the rut. My grunt tube's ready to go. Also, it's not in there because I used it for turkey season, but I have a saw and a pair of clippers on the ground. Am I going to get up and get them? I usually put this in the front pouch where the compression sleeves are for private land stuff, where I can just snip a few things if I need to cut holes down. So now I want to get in more depth about the linesman belt and the tether. So my linesman belt and tether are both from Wildline. They're pretty sweet. So they're cheap. I think they're like 75 bucks. Again, I'll be popping up prices and everything if you guys are very curious. All the links will be down below. But the linesman belt is a 5mm, like I think they call it the ultralight linesman belt. And it has this knot. Again, I don't know my knots. I probably should know. But it has this cool knot where you can adjust it one-handed both ways. So you can pull it in and out one-handed. This knot works really well on the linesman belt. I don't know if it's because you're putting a lot more pressure on it and it's almost at a 90 degree. But this knot works really well, or maybe even it's because of the 5mm rope. It works really well as a lineman belt. Now, it had the same knot on my tether. I took it off because it does not work that well. It almost works, for me, I don't know, maybe as users there, it worked just as well as a Prusik, really. So I took the knot off the tether and put a Kong duck on it. It was worth it in my opinion. That's true one-hand operation, super easy. But again, if you're going for a linesman and tether, I suggest checking out Wildline, because the 5mm is super freaking light, and if you guys are sketched out about it, my dad uses it. He's a bigger guy, never had any problems, and he loves it as well. I have a Kong duck with an oval carabiner on my tether because it's easier to adjust one-handed. The knot on this tether for me didn't work very well, and it made me very frustrated on a few sets to the point where I almost climbed down just to go home because I couldn't adjust my tether and it was getting kind of uncomfortable. I suggest going to a Kong duck on the tether. As you can see, or hopefully you can see, it's all wrapped in stealth strip. My Kong duck is, you can see there's, and my freaking, on the inside, it's kind of peeling, but my carabiner is all stealth strip. I want to alliterate this. Stealth strip everything. Everything needs to be stealth stripped. My platform is stealth stripped, but not where you'd think. So I put stealth strip on the button where the bolt that adjusts the up and down, and then right where I could see where it was clinking. I can barely, I mean, you can still hear it, but it's a lot quieter than what it was when it was metal on metal. I stealth strip everything. My sticks are stealth stripped. My freaking carabiner is stealth stripped. My Kong duck stealth stripped. I mean, if it can hold tape, I'm stealth stripped. I wanted to alliterate that. I even wrote it in all caps. Stealth strip everything. Stealth strip everything. I have a, so on my tether, I have a 3D printed gear, or tether locker is what they call it. I don't know if I like it. I 3D printed it myself and maybe I did the things wrong, but it's super tight. I mean, it works when you get your thing in there. It's super tight. The problem is it's too tight. So before, again, if you don't want to spend any money or pay someone to 3D print it if you don't have a 3D printer, what I did before is right around this circle where you loop your thing through, so you loop this through, put a little tiny gear tie here, a night-eyes gear tie, then whenever you get it wrapped around, you can wrap that gear tie where your tether locker would be, so your tether doesn't fall down when you want to stand up on your platform to release weight. Little things like that is what's going to help out in the long run. I want to talk about also the tethered shoulder strap system. Now, you don't have to run the lockdown. You can run, I know Tethr's having a freaking 6 sale on the Mantis, I'm pretty sure. It's like 75 bucks right now, so if you want to get into saddle hunting, I suggest checking that out. Or it's 75, I saw on some places, and 100. I think it's 75 on Midway USA or something like that, but it's super cheap is what I'm saying. And it's a pretty good starter saddle to get it if you want to try it, and maybe you don't like it or maybe you do. So if you run that saddle, what I suggest, or any saddle that doesn't have built-in shoulder straps, is get some. If it's from Walmart, there's suspenders. I know FeatherLite sells them. That's what I used on my Buzzard Roost saddle. I used just FeatherLite suspenders, like 15 bucks. It makes it so much worth it. When you're walking in, you can't get it, you can't get it adjusted quite right to walking in where your saddle falls down. You have to keep pulling it up. Or even when you're in the saddle sitting up, then you kind of like stand up to adjust something and then you sit back down and it's all the way down by your knees. The shoulder straps just keep everything where it needs to be. You adjust those one time and then your saddle just fits to exactly where you want it. So what I'm saying is buy some shoulder straps, or I know there's like a couple companies that make them just like the tethered ones, where they're actual like padded straps, but I used the FeatherLite ones and they worked well. They're like 15 bucks. But get some straps. So also on my Predator platform, I am gonna try this year. I tried it a little bit and maybe I'm just out of practice, but Dad had this type of attachment method for his sticks because he's using the XOP X2s, which are very freaking sweet. I made a video on them. But this is the Hfas system. It's HFAS, hang-free attachment system. They make a platform one, and I want to try it this year. I need to use it a little bit more. You can see this thing's like brand new. It's still like stiffy. This thing you can put around the tree, and it's one-hand operation. So you throw it around the tree, put it around here. Then it has this whole mechanism here. It's a Prusik with a tender. You can put it around and then pull it tight with your hand. It worked really well for the sticks. For Dad's sticks, works really well. Now the reason why you want to run this, or why I run this instead of a button, like a buckle, the buckle is one that's a little heavier, yeah, ounces, but ounces do end up adding up. And two, it's a one-hand operation. The buckle, you have to like hold the button and then pull it, or sometimes it's not truly one-handed. This is. I need to use it a little bit more because I did a video and I kind of sucked with it. So just practicing. Hopefully it'll help out, but I still have the buckle obviously, but I also stealth stripped the buckle. This one also doesn't have any metal. It's metal free. I mean, you can see I'm moving it around, it's not making noise. That other thing, sometimes if you're being careless, especially at night in the dark, you can't see, you throw the thing around and it hits your platform and it makes a little ding. I stealth stripped it and it still makes a little ding, but that's why I'm going with the Hfas system for my platform. Dad uses it for his sticks. I really liked them. I used the sticks a few times last year just to try them out, and Dad used his sticks, and I like the system, so I'm going to try it with the platform. So that's what I'm running on my platform. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, that's pretty much my whole entire system. It's very, like, if you thought it was going to be complex, it's really not. It's super simple. I try to make it simple so when you're climbing, it's not really, there's not much to think about. It's almost all muscle memory, especially after multiple practices with it. It does get to a point where it's just like in your head how to do it. Last year when I saddle hunted multiple days in a row, and I saddle hunted a lot last year, at the end of the season, I could get set up in just a couple like minutes. Like, I'm not even kidding. Just because I practiced so much, I knew exactly where everything was. I could get set up in minutes, and that's with the multi-stick setup. Again, I don't know about one sticking. I've never tried it. I kind of want to try it, but I'm kind of scared. I don't know. Maybe I need to try it. It's just, one, it's kind of an expensive startup. Pretty much the same price as buying all this stuff is one sticking. If you already have multi-stick, you'd have to spend double the amount to get a single set because there's a lot more stuff to go to it as well. That's going to be my saddle system coming in to 2024-25 season is pretty much what all you saw. And after 4 or 5 seasons, this is what I could figure out is the best way to climb a tree and hunt. Again, I don't think I'm missing anything. This is my ultimate setup. You guys, if you have any better suggestions down below, please leave them. I'm always looking for better ways to get up a tree. And if you guys have like cool gear that you want me to check out, like maybe stuff from this year's Mobile Hunting Expo or stuff that I may be overlooking or never heard of, please put it down in the comments. I'd love to check it out. I love going through gear. I'm always through Facebook. As you can see, I'm a big gear nut. I like having a bunch of cool stuff, and especially if it helps me get up a tree. So if you have cool stuff or you have better suggestions on I could do better in my setup, please leave them down below. And if you like this video, like the video, and if you could, please subscribe. It helps out the channel out. It helps me grow and keeps me motivated to keep making videos for y'all to enjoy. So again, drop comments down below on stuff that makes it better, and stay tuned. Season's coming up, and we already got some pretty nice bucks on camera, so peace.